Hey guys, Red Pill Warrior coming at you from down under in Australia. Got a video for you today, and this one is on the Big Aids Hoax, so I'm sure you'll find that very interesting. And if you want to sign up for Info Warrior training to learn how to do videos like this, or to create your own YouTube channel, then Operation Hell has a training camp starting very soon on the 24th of this month. It's not too late, but places are filling up fast, so get in now, guys. There's a link below that you can click on, and that will take you to the sign up area for that training camp. Enjoy the video.
HIV/AIDS, the greatest lie of 21st century. HIV, the human immunodeficiency virus, cannot cause AIDS. You may be surprised to know that HIV, a kind of retrovirus, cannot enter your body through blood transfusion, sexual contact, or by any other means. Don't believe me? Give me 5 minutes, you will believe. The discoverer of HIV, Luc Montagnier, the Nobel Prize winner, he has clearly established that HIV has never been found in the human body. In fact, in last 35 years, since the time you are told that HIV causes AIDS, there had not been even a single research paper to prove that HIV is found in the human body. You might be thinking, if that is true, then why and how the doctors diagnose HIV/AIDS? When the doctor diagnoses, they use this kind of kit, HIV diagnostic kit. But look carefully, it is not an HIV diagnostic kit. Actually, it is HIV antibody diagnostic kit. Antibody is something, a kind of protein, which is produced by your body. And it is having nothing to do with HIV itself. Even the PCR test inventor, PCR test is a kind of test which is used all over the world to detect HIV. The PCR test inventor, Kary Mullis is also a Nobel Prize winner. His invention is not meant to test HIV. His invention cannot detect HIV at all. In fact, it is HERV, human endogenous retrovirus, a kind of virus which your body produces on its own during the time of illness. When you are ill with tuberculosis, pneumonia, diarrhea, certain kind of cancer, flu, even sometime during pregnancy, your body produces HERV. At that time, if you go for such kind of diagnostic test, you may be tested as HIV positive. The truth is that when you are ill, body produces such kind of retrovirus, and once the illness goes, these HERV also vanishes. But once you are tested as HIV positive, although it is false HIV positive, the doctors will prescribe you AIDS medication. It is these AIDS medication which causes AIDS. So these are the kind of AIDS medication. AIDS is acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. It is not a new disease. It is a new name given to the collection of 29 already familiar illnesses by CDC, Center for Disease Control, US. And which are those 29 illnesses? That include tuberculosis, diarrhea, certain kind of cancer, certain kind of flu, pneumonia, etc. It's a big scam. Very, very big scam. The greatest scam of humanity and the second most profitable business. Some of you may be knowing the most profitable business in this world is the business of religion. Because when you donate any money in the name of God, when you donate any money in the name of prayer, that money do not go to the God, because God is non-existent. It goes in the pocket of those who propagate the religion. In the same way, the money which is allocated or donated or collected for HIV/AIDS prevention or cure or research do not go anywhere because HIV/AIDS does not exist in reality. So it goes directly in the pocket of those who are involved in the propaganda of HIV/AIDS hypothesis. And those people include CDC of US, FDA of India, IMA, Indian Medical Association of India. FDA and IMA, this is the body who had been stopping me on several occasions to tell the truth, to reveal the truth of medical science, to show the real face of medical science. On 8th April, a day after the World Health Day, I am going to expose this hypothesis with the launch of my book, HIV/AIDS, the greatest lie of 21st century. My challenge to FDA and IMA on that day at 11 a.m. in Hindi Bhavan, Ghaziabad, you bring one HIV patient, a patient whom you claim to be HIV positive, take out his blood, and I volunteer myself in the presence of media, in the presence of public, I allow you to inject that blood in my body. If HIV/AIDS hypothesis is true, then after some days, I should be detected as HIV positive and eventually I should suffer from AIDS, die of AIDS. I invite all of you to join me on 8th of April at 11 a.m. in Hindi Bhavan, Ghaziabad. And if you cannot come physically, even then you can connect with me through Facebook Live. If you need that book, I can send you the ebook. You just send me the request through my email. Spread this message to free the nation of the economic and social burden of HIV/AIDS. All the best. Jai Hind. Thank you.
I'm talking today to the Austrian-German biologist Christel Meyer, who has proven that the HIV virus does not exist. Christel, could you tell us something about your qualifications, please?
I studied at the University of Marburg in Germany, and I studied chemistry, biochemistry, biology, and I did my scientific work in medical microbiology concerning virus and antibodies.
And this research brought you to look at the HIV virus, and you discovered there is no such thing. Is that correct?
It was later that I did my research on AIDS and HIV, but with this background, it was very interesting for me to do research in this area.
And you found out that what looks like the HIV virus is actually a gene in our immune system.
Yes, I found out by doing research when I taught the students in Belize, Central America, in microbiology, that the genes of our immune system, which are called human leukocyte antigen genes, are the cause for testing positive because they are very variable, and by gene expression we produce RNA and proteins, and these just make the test positive. But nothing is coming from outside, it's a production from inside, and it does not mean that we are sick or have a disease.
Another problem you point out is that the HIV tests are not standardized.
Yes, the tests are not standardized. They vary all over the world. So you can take a test in Africa and fly with your result to France. If you were tested positive in Africa, you are negative in France. And let's say you test positive in Germany, go with your result to Australia, there you would be named negative.
So the whole HIV testing system is totally capricious.
Yes, it is, because there's no standard. A virus has never been proved, and without a standard you cannot really establish a test system. And the tests vary all over the world, and they change from time to time.
So, Christel, what is your view of the treatment for this non-existent virus? Does it actually harm people?
The medical treatment in the beginning was really hard because it was a high doses of ACT, acetotumidine, and this really disturbs DNA. And this was a problem for those who had to take the medication because they died of the drugs. And now the drugs today, we have more drugs, but they are not as hard as before. But as there is no virus, we have to treat just the diseases people have, because there is no new disease. It's just old diseases with new name.
So you are saying the treatment could actually be more harmful than the disease?
You see, the normal thing for a medical doctor is to find out which disease a patient has, do the analyzing, and then treat. So if you have a wrong diagnosis, the treatment is also not the best.
You mentioned that certain flu vaccines had to be withdrawn from the market because the people who take these vaccines could test positive for HIV.
Yes, there was recently a flu vaccine that was retracted from the market. They did not say they retracted it because of the positive testing after the vaccine, although it is in the leaflet, but they said because of small side effects.
So it's actually in the leaflet that if you take this vaccine, you can test positive?
Yes, it's in the leaflet.
So that means somebody who takes a flu vaccine could be falsely diagnosed with HIV and given these harmful drugs?
Yes, it's like this. And also you see, people are trying to find a vaccine against HIV. And if you give a shot against HIV, you will test positive. That's normal, because after vaccination you test positive for the antibodies.
So the vaccine is giving people really the HIV?
If they will do it and there are tests, then people test positive. That's why they do research to find out which positive test comes from a vaccine and which positive test does not come from a vaccine. But this absolutely makes no sense.
Why do so many people in Africa test positive for the HIV virus?
Africa is just a special genetic factor because people have different genes. That does not mean they have disease genes. They just test more often positive because of their background.
So basically the HIV test is testing for a certain genetic factor?
Yes, it is testing for gene expression factors.
It's testing actually then for a genetic factor which is very common in Africa?
Yes, it's testing for this, and it's more common in Africa than in other parts of the world.
And African people then receive this very harmful treatment?
Yes, if healthy people receive the harmful treatment, this really is a genocide.
Can you tell me a little bit about pregnant women?
Yes, pregnant women produce more antibodies instead of attacking the strange cells, because the fetus in their body has 50% genes of the father. That's why they have to shift the immune system to produce more antibodies, because this protects the fetus from attack.
What about diseases like malaria or tuberculosis?
You see, some of the people in Africa suffer from these diseases and also from a lack of pure drinking water, and that is why they are sick. But the diseases have to be diagnosed correctly and treated correctly.
Are they often misdiagnosed as HIV?
There is often a misdiagnosis as HIV, and also medical doctors say if they say people have HIV, they receive more money and more funding, as if they claim them to have tuberculosis or malaria.
Why do you think so many homosexuals are diagnosed with HIV?
Homosexuals might have an overload of proteins which make them positive in the test, and also in former times, I don't know if now, homosexuals took some drugs to have better feeling, and they just had problems with drugs, and this also turned the test positive.
So there is no correlation between homosexuality and HIV?
There is no correlation between homosexuality and the virus. There might be some allergy against the proteins from the partner, but this is like a normal allergy and not a disease, but this could just render the test positive.
So it sounds to me, Crystal, as though this is a kind of genocide against people in Africa, against women who are producing the next generation of children, and against homosexuals. Would you agree with this?
I agree that this is a genocide.
If people want more information on this, Crystal, where can they get it?
They can look at my website, which you will find here, and also they might write me an email and find informations and ask questions.
Thank you, Crystal, for explaining that to us. You can find more information on Crystal's website. It is www.crystal-meyer-science.net. That is CHRISTL-MEYER-science.net. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you very much.
Well, what did you think of that? Lies, 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 and more lies. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'll have some interesting videos coming up in the not too distant future. One actually about how there is actually a cure for cancer, but the government is withholding the information from everybody because big pharma makes big dollars, and you know they need people to be sick because you know it brings in the big bucks basically. So and not just cancer, but there's you know other ailments that there are cures for as well, that yeah, certain people do not want it out in the open. So, and will go to any lengths to stop it, including murder. Yeah, but unbelievable. Also, I found out something very interesting about vitamin D lately, which I want to talk to you about. And it's not actually called vitamin D; it's actually a hormone. But I'll talk to you about that in another video. Yeah, so I just want to say a special thank you to all my subscribers, and if you're new, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and that way you'll be sure not to miss out on future videos. So you're awesome, and God bless from the Red Pill Christian Warrior. The truth will set you free.